as you can see, LSU's Flau'jae Johnson admits this about Caitlin Clark amid desire to settle score. LSU's icon Flau'jae Johnson is eager to settle the score with Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark.
LSU star Flau'jae Johnson recently made headlines with bold remarks about facing WNBA rookie sensation Caitlin Clark. When asked about her toughest opponent, the former national champion didn't hold back. Her response has the basketball world buzzing. Johnson's honest take not only highlights her competitive spirit but also hints at an exciting future showdown once she makes it to the WNBA. Her words might surprise you. Hey, basketball fans! Today, we're breaking down Flau'jae Johnson's eye-catching comments about Indiana Fever's rising star, Caitlin Clark. You won't want to miss this.
So, lads, Flau'jae Johnson, one of the better players in college basketball, someone who actually was looking like she was going to be with a shout of, well, being a first-team All-American. It really did at one stage. Obviously, as the year went on, Anissa Morrow kind of cemented herself as the best player for LSU. But Flau'jae, obviously a champion in 2023. As a junior, made an Elite Eight last year. And she did still have a really good year. 18.9 points, 5.8 rebounds, 2.4 assists. And obviously, look, there ain't no rivalry. Well, not that there's a rivalry.
You don't know, Flau'jae Johnson isn't just any college basketball player, she's a proven champion. As a freshman, she helped lead LSU to a national title in 2023. This past season, she put up impressive stats, 18.9 points, 5.8 rebounds, and 2.4 assists per game. Now a junior, she solidified herself as one of the top players in women's college basketball. Fans will remember the intense matchups between LSU and Iowa over the past 2 seasons. In 2023, LSU took down Iowa to win the national championship. But in 2024, Caitlin Clark and Iowa got their payback in the Elite Eight. Clark delivered a jaw-dropping performance with 41 points, 12 assists, and 9 rebounds, leaving everyone, even her opponents, in awe.
While LSU Tiger superstar had to sit out her team's SEC conference tournament due to shin inflammation, the junior is back to full health ahead of her team entering the 2025 NCAA tournament. Johnson brings a wealth of NCAA tournament experience to the tournament, given that the Tigers won the championship during her freshman year and lost in the Elite Eight next year. So, obviously, their season ended against Iowa, one being a win, the other being a...
When Complex's Bridget Tully recently asked Flau'jae a direct question, who's the toughest opponent you've faced in college so far, and what did you learn from that matchup? Basketball fans everywhere were eager to hear her response.
Flau'jae's always had positive things to say about CC. They've linked up, they've taken photos at the All-Star game, they've showed mutual love. But it's not that common, as odd as it would seem, for somebody to just come out and say things about Caitlin Clark positively, or at least it wasn't in the rookie year that she had with the Indiana Fever, without qualifiers or anything else. So I thought this was of note and worth sharing, because Flau'jae did an interview with Complex, where she talked about the players that were toughest to guard in her college career.
And didn't hesitate for a second. Definitely got to be Caitlin Clark, she said without a doubt.
Definitely got to be Caitlin Clark, but also Paige Beckers, showing Paige some love. I didn't even play against Paige, but I've trained with her, and I've seen her play, just like her pace and how she attacks the game. I just love that about both of them and their pace, you know what I'm saying? Them two are definitely the hardest. I played Clark my freshman year and my sophomore year. I'm a junior, and so first year, freshman year, we got it. Second year, she got me. So me and Caitlin, we 1-1 right now. I got to wait until I get into the league to break that tie. She's definitely the hardest opponent I've ever had to play. She was just able to facilitate. She's like the best passer I think I've ever played against ever in my life.
Against Clark my freshman and sophomore year. I'm a junior now. First year, we got the win. Second year, she got me. So right now, me and Caitlin are 1-1, Johnson said. I gotta wait until I get to the league to break that tie. Let that sink in. Johnson isn't just thinking about college rivalries, she's already looking ahead to their next battle in the WNBA. That's the mindset of a true competitor, someone who keeps track and never forgets the score.
I do think there is. Look, I think as of right now, unless there's this huge jump from Flau'jae, like, I think Flau'jae is going to come into the WNBA and do fine. Like, I will say this, like, I think that settling the score, you probably have to be the number one on your team to settle the score. Like, if Flau'jae comes into the WNBA next year as like the 4th pick, and let's just say she ends up with the 4th pick, and she's drafted by the Mystics and comes off the bench for the Mystics, something like that, and the Mystics go and beat Caitlin Clark. I'm not going to say that's a 1-to-1. And again, playoffs matter. College games do matter, in fairness, because you don't play against each other 4 times a year, potentially 5 times a year, if you're the Sky. And
recent comments stand out because of how she blends competitive fire with genuine respect. She didn't just acknowledge Caitlin Clark as her toughest opponent, she broke down exactly what makes Clark so special. Clark is definitely the hardest opponent. She's just able to facilitate. She's the best passer I think I've ever played against in my life. This level of respect contrasts with some of the narrative surrounding Clark since she entered the WNBA. While some veterans and rookies have been hesitant to fully acknowledge her impact, Johnson has no problem giving credit where it's due. Women's basketball is thriving. Johnson's comments come at a historic time for women's basketball. The sport is seeing unprecedented growth, with record-breaking viewership, soaring attention, and the most-watched WNBA draft ever, largely due to Clark's entry into the league. Heavy checkmark TV ratings are up. Flau'jae Johnson isn't playing into media narratives, she's simply speaking her truth. She acknowledges both her victory over Caitlin Clark and her defeat, while looking forward to their next showdown. Honesty over hype. This kind of honesty is refreshing in an era where athlete interviews often feel scripted or overly cautious. Unlike some of her peers, Johnson keeps the focus purely on basketball. While other players, most notably Angel Reese, have had tense interactions with Clark, Johnson's. With increased visibility and direct access to fans, women's basketball is seeing a shift toward more authentic, unfiltered perspectives. Flau'jae Johnson isn't playing into media narratives, she's simply speaking her truth. She acknowledges both her victory over Caitlin Clark and her defeat, while looking forward to their next showdown. Honesty over hype. This kind of honesty is refreshing in an era where athlete interviews often feel scripted or overly cautious. Unlike some of her peers, Johnson keeps the focus purely on basketball. While other players, most notably Angel Reese, have had tense interactions with Clark, Johnson's approach is different. For her, it's about competition, not controversy. It's about measuring herself against the best and rising to the challenge. Her acknowledgement of Clark as the toughest opponent she's faced isn't just good sportsmanship, it's a sign of her confidence and security as a player. Respect, rivalry, and the future of the game. After LSU's Elite Eight loss to Iowa, LSU's outspoken head coach Kim Mulkey famously told Clark during the post-game handshake, "I sure am glad you're leaving." While that comment made headlines, Johnson's perspective seems more in line with how many players in her generation see Clark, not as a villain, but as a benchmark. When Johnson says she's looking forward to breaking their tie in the WNBA, she's not just talking about personal pride. She's embracing the kind of individual rivalry that has historically driven sports to new heights. Great rivalries don't just elevate players, they elevate the sport. Fans love Johnson's competitive spirit. The response to Johnson's comments online has been overwhelmingly positive. Hope to see her and Caitlin Clark compete for years in the WNBA. Perhaps the most telling response? "This is how we do it, take it to the court. No drama, no issues, just pro basketball." This is exactly how women's basketball should be, driven by talent, competition, and respect. And with stars like Clark, Johnson, Reese, and Buchers leading the way, the future has never been brighter. Johnson openly credits Clark for pushing her to improve, highlighting how great players bring out the best in each other. Facing Clark in high-stakes college battles forced her to elevate her game, and those experiences will serve her well as she continues to develop. Authenticity in an era of media narratives. What sets Johnson apart is her authenticity. In an age where many athletes are coached to give bland, non-controversial answers, she speaks with refreshing candor. She doesn't just acknowledge Clark as a tough opponent, she breaks down what makes her great, pushes the sport forward. And when Johnson finally enters the WNBA and squares off against Clark as a pro, you can bet it will be heavily hyped game. Different paths, same destination ***. What makes this potential rivalry even more intriguing is how their paths to this point have differed. Clark, the face of college basketball, breaking records, and becoming a household name. Johnson, a star in her own right, but sharing the LSU spotlight with other big personalities like Angel Reese. Yet, there's no resentment from Johnson about Clark's attention. Instead, she's focused on the pure basketball challenge of competing against one of the best. That mature mindset will serve her well as she transitions into the WNBA spotlight. The perfect time for a star to rise. With the WNBA expanding, and the level of talent entering the league at an all-time high, the timing couldn't be better for Johnson to turn pro. Rivalry without the drama. The mutual respect between Johnson and Clark also offers a blueprint for how competitive rivalries can elevate women's sports, without descending into unnecessary drama. Looking ahead, Johnson's journey to the WNBA. As the 2024-25 college basketball season approaches, all eyes will be on Johnson's development. But one thing is certain. When she eventually steps into the WNBA and faces Caitlin Clark again, basketball fans will be treated to an elite, must-watch rivalry. Because at the end of the day, that's what sports at their best are all about.